Comic Drive.
Comic Drive.
Comic Drive. It's Comic Drive, where we drive and talk about comics. What do you want to talk about today, Jake?
What do I want to talk about today? Let's talk about, I don't know, Invincible.
Invincible? Let's talk about Invincible. Oh, okay.
It's the first comics you gave me, and I fucking love those comics.
True.
Those are such good comics.
Jake has read Invincible. Some of it. I should bring you more.
Almost all of it.
Invincible.
I'm going to have to reread the last few ones again. I keep forgetting.
I went and bought the ones I didn't have so you could read the whole thing.
Nice.
So Invincible.
Nice.
You tell me about Invincible.
I don't know. Well, there's a lot to talk about.
There's so much to talk about with Invincible. Disclaimer, this video won't make sense if you haven't read Invincible.
Yeah. Or watch the show. I mean, the show gives you enough information.
So yeah, we'll try to keep it to the show. But we're there's no format for Comic Drive. We just
talk.
We're just talking about Invincible. I thought maybe we'd start and work our way through, but nah.
Probably one of my favorites.
It better be.
It's so well written.
I like that. I like to build the whole world. The world building. Because it sets up so much. Like there's things that I would read from Invincible. Oh, did I tell you there's a Battle Beast series coming? I think it's like a mini series.
You said, yeah.
It's Kirkman and Otley.
Sweet.
I want to read that. Because you didn't get to the portion where Battle Beast. I've told you about it though.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet.
Battle Beast's untimely end.
That's because General what's-his-nuts, right?
Thrag, yeah. So he still shows up for the rest of the series because Thrag wears him as a king. Spoiler alert for Invincible.
Battle Beast dies.
Yeah. Well, we're going to discuss the first 14 or so.
18?
Where did you get? 18? Where did you get to? The Viltrumite War?
I have to read it again. Oh no! I have forgotten.
Well, you'd remember if you got to the Viltrumite War. What's
Omni-Man
what's Omni-Man up to?
He regrets his decisions. As far as I remember.
Okay. As he
he's because he's with Alan.
Are they in prison? Or have they gotten out?
They got out.
Okay. So he's officially joined the coalition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's with them, and then he learns the leader of the coalition is a Viltrumite himself.
Yeah. He did the Tulak pull. He pulls off his beard, and it's like, what is that?
The general dude gets out, the super evil one who was hunting them.
Yeah.
Ordered by Thrag to go and hunt them.
Was the old dude Conquest?
Yeah, I think so. And the guy with all the old dude on Earth keeps him in that big giant block, thinking that he's gonna be sick, and he's just like, "What is this?" Boom.
Invincible thought he killed him. And they made a fake body. Okay,
and then he's just like, "Oh no." But that's...
Yeah, he leaves Earth. He's like, maybe I'm fine.
I'm pretty sure there's more issues that I've read after that, though.
I don't know.
But I can't put my finger on it right now for some reason.
Well, let's start from the beginning and just discuss the series. It starts off slow. If I were buying it issue by issue, I don't know if I'd have kept reading after the first 4. Like, that's why when I lend it out to people like you, when I lend it out to people like you, I always say, like, read at least the first 2. Read at least the first 2, but read the first 3, you'll be hooked, like trade paperbacks. Because the first one's just 4 issues, and it was nothing.
I like though because it sets Mark up.
It sets it up.
Even though it's more about like his home life and Omni-Man and what he's doing in the background that he doesn't want Mark to know and everything.
Yeah.
It sets everything up.
Yeah, and I will say rereading it after knowing what happens with Omni-Man, like it does, there are little hints dropped. Nothing I would have picked up on. Like,
no.
In the first read. But yeah, like the first issues, like I also don't care for the art. Corey Walker's art, I don't like. It's better than anything I could draw. I've said this before in other Invincible videos, but the art didn't click with me. I really prefer Ryan Otley's. And this is actually something else that I've said in other videos. When Ryan Otley came on, his art was worse not worse. It wasn't bad. Like, it was very much matched Cory Walker's art style. And then over the course, like, his art evolved. And it's only when you, like, go back to the beginning, you see, oh, they've written it issue by issue. You don't notice it, but his art evolved quite a bit. But yeah, so Mark Grayson is just a kid whose dad is the most powerful superhero on the planet.
The most powerful.
The most powerful. And that's just his day-to-day life.
Like, I think he would beat the crap out of Superman.
I don't know.
Omni-Man?
Omni-Man? Beat the crap out of Superman? Doesn't have lasers.
Doesn't have lasers, but he also doesn't have a conscience. Not for the first few.
No, he doesn't.
It's not till later on when he realizes that he really messed up and he lost everything that he actually wanted.
He is thousands of years old. Your mother's nothing but a pet to me. Did you watch the Invincible?
What are you going to do after 500 years?
What are you going to have?
What are you going to have?
You, Dad.
You.
I'll have you. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Did you watch the Invincible series? I can't remember.
I did,
I think I ask you that every 2 days.
Oh, that one's good.
That was
good.
We just pulled. Anyway, so
but they do a lot of different stuff than they do in the comics.
Yes.
They
changed
the comics does a little bit of this, and then the show does a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And
they bring in stuff earlier. Like because it was only 8 episodes, and they went they went through the first 3 trade paperbacks, but then they brought in stuff from later, like the whole Rex robot thing.
Rex is sweet too.
Rex is sweet.
Yeah, I like Rex. He's cool. Because he's not. At first, you'd think that he's just the robot. You never know that there's actually a person behind it.
Oh, robot.
Yeah.
Robot.
Oh no.
Yeah, Rex is Rex.
Rex is the
Rexplode.
The other guy, Rexplode.
Rex is the Gambit guy. Rex.
That guy is just kind of a dink. And then
I like Rex.
Kind of gets what is coming to him. He's pretty sweet.
Well, he gets what's coming to him. What happens to Rex?
Well, because he's kind of a dink at the beginning.
He's absolutely a dink, but he evolves and grows. I really like Rex as a character.
I like the robot guy. Sorry, I confused the two.
Okay, well, yeah. Because Robot takes... Yeah.
Robot is...
He built a clone of Rex. And eventually he just takes the name Rex.
Robot is... He's different.
Robot is different.
But I like him, because he's... At first you'd think that he's just Robot.
Yeah. Oh, he is.
But it turns out that there's actually a dude
robot.
behind
He's a
him.
human controlling it. When he shows his full power, it's like when the Mahler twins get him, and you're like, oh, when they destroy his body, and it's like, yeah, you think that's all I got? And he shows up with a giant like Hulk one. It's like, raw. We're just jumping all over the place. Anyway,
those guys are kind of dumb.
The Mahler twins?
They're so smart, but yet they're kind of dumb.
They're dumb as well. I just like how they're always like clones of each other.
And they never know who's the original.
Yeah, well, until the time when they do, and then they find the dynamic doesn't work. Because the one guy has the burnt face, or whatever. He's like, nope, I'm the original. I got the burnt face. So now you're going to do what I say. And then it's like eventually, nope, this doesn't work when we don't know who's who. You're dead.
Yeah, he just kills the other one.
Yeah. So at that point, like there's never been an original. Like, even if one of them was the original, there is no original. Because they're both separate clones at that point.
Makes you think, though, is that one even the original Mahler?
Probably not.
Or does he just think that he's the original?
He thinks that's the whole point. Like, they get the memories
or after hundreds of years, like, he's totally forgotten. Yeah. And
I don't think it's hundreds,
but you never know, because they never delve into the Mahler twins.
Yeah.
Like,
well, they're not even twins.
Well, yeah, they're just clones of each other.
At some point in time, there was one. There was Mr. Mahler. And then they're like introduced in like the 4th or 5th issue. Like they're just
there in the background.
They're stealing PlayStations or game stations, or whatever they called them, from a Toys B Wee. They're just they're always until they're not. Until Oliver kills them. Then they come back. How far did you get? I don't want to spoil it too much for you.
Well, I don't care about spoilers. I'm not one of those people.
Okay.
You can spoil it for me, and I'll still read it.
Yeah.
Just be like, oh, this is so cool.
There's things that I won't spoil. But anyway, let's see. So yeah, then Invincible gets his powers. He's like, oh boy, it's about time. Which is another one of those things that's cool. He throws his hamburger bag up into the air because he works for Burger Mart or whatever. He throws the garbage in the air, and then like a few issues later, it lands in London.
Yeah, he just kind of whips it and says, whoa.
What's that like?
Whoa.
I can't remember if that was the show or the comic or both, but then like another few issues later, there's like a homeless guy, I think, is like out where the bag almost hit him, and he's just worshiping it. He's like, this came from the heavens, I am the Burger Lord. It just had like, it doesn't amount to anything, but they keep just gags like that going, I think is really good. And that's another thing Kirkman does really well, is start setting stuff up early. Like after they go to Mars. There's that.
Good at like little backstories, just kind of world building.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
The world building is amazing.
The world building is amazing. Kirkman nailed that. But then, after they go back to Mars, you see Russ Livingston, the astronaut, and you just, well, two things happen there. Like, one was the shapesmith or whatever was the fake guy, and you kind of see him training a bit, and then he comes out and becomes a big character. And then the other one is the astronaut sitting there and he spits out a couple sequoids or whatever.
Yeah.
And you see him a couple times over the course of issues. Like, it's 20 issues before the big, I think, like, you just see it slowly building, and then all of a sudden, sequoids, whatever.
Yeah, they think they beat him, but they don't beat him.
Yeah.
And
we know that because we see him, like, a panel here, a panel there, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, I've got 200 of these things. Like, just the way they build up to it. But then, there's also every character is important in their own way. Like, Invincible's off in a war with the Viltrumites. You know what I mean? Like, galactic consequences.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're still seeing what's happening to Titan, the concrete guy. How he's, like, taking over the criminal empire and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
see, he was smart, though, too. He just acted like a lackey the entire time, but then it was just like, oh, this was your plan all along, to screw your boss right over
yeah.
and take his place.
Yeah.
And then you had the other dude, I
Machine
can't remember what he is.
Isotope?
Is that the guy? The guy who worked with the
Isotope.
mob boss?
Yeah,
Isotope?
with like the hair and stuff. Apparently he was based off a guy that owned a comic store, I think called Isotope Comics.
Well, that's
It was
sweet.
just a nice little homage to him, where I assume Kirkman moved shop. So then he kills the Guardians of the Globe, the Justice League.
See, there's just too much good going on. in
There's too
Invincible
much good going on.
just to go from comic 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4.
So one day maybe we'll sit down in a proper setting with a stack of comics and we'll flip through them and discuss it chronologically. But for now we're just like, oh, you remember that part?
That part was cool,
That
man.
was cool, man. But like, when he killed the Guardians of the Globe in a single panel or a single page in the comic, I was like, and then it's Omni-Man just standing there like, I never liked you either. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, when he just beat the crap out of Immortal.
Yeah. Well, you beat the crap out of everybody, but then like, he just kills everybody like that.
Immortal's like, why?
Although, he's no Immortal's like, I never liked you. And you see Omni-Man punches a hole in his chest and rips his head off, if I recall, and he's like, I never liked you either. Or the feeling was mutual.
And the Waller twins, they come back for that, and they bring him back to life.
Yeah, they bring the Immortal back. The Immortal's a cool character. Like, I like how nobody else came back.
No, they're all dead.
Awkward as, like, some of them came back story-wise. Like, there was a new Martian Man. Like, the Shapesmith was kind of like the new Martian Man. The Green Lantern analog never came back. Like, the guy just spit up a stone and had, like, the Green Ghost. Or did he come back? Another Green
No,
Ghost?
he didn't come back, I don't think.
Yeah, there was no Red Rush ever came back. They mentioned Red Rush again. They're like, oh, there was that Red Rush imposter. Darkwing sidekick stepped up and became a new Darkwing and became a big character. Warrior Woman, I can't remember what her name actually would have been if it was that. She never came
She didn't come back, no.
back.
Well,
It
I
just
think
shows
it was
that
just
somewhere.
Darkwing. Like, well, Darkwing
Yeah.
came back.
Yeah, new Darkwing. Well, and the Immortal.
But then he dies again.
But then he comes back again. He was Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
He's
think-
immortal.
Yeah, it's so cool. He was like one of the first superheroes. And I like how they show that too. Like, there's a panel of him with like this old superhero costume like from the 20s. I was like, the Immortal was cool. Except for that alternate future where Mark left him in charge of Earth. And he's like, he went crazy. They had to go get Mark from the past to come stop him because he was like, I'm not suited for this. I'm not a Viltrumite. I can't run your planet.
He kind of goes a little bit crazy, too.
He does. The
He
Immortal.
goes a little bit crazy.
But yeah, in the show, when they killed him, was way more brutal.
Oh, in the show when they
Oh,
extended it instead of just one page.
Oh, and the Red Rush, like, breaking his hands on his chest, and then he just grabs
like,
Darkwing
nah.
by the ankle and turns him into a sack of blood. I was watching it with my kid because I didn't realize what it was going to be. I've told you this story before. But when he takes the mace to Aquarus's head, my kid was just like,
Boof.
who wants sushi? I was like, yeah, maybe we won't watch the rest of this together, buddy.
It's so good.
Because that was one thing.
That-
The comic builds up to all the blood and gore. particularly with the Conquest fight, like where he dies squeezing Invincible's intestines. Maybe that was the second time they fight. Anyway. Yeah,
that's the second time they fight.
He like punches a hole in Invincible and rips out his intestines and like dies, crushing his intestines.
Jeez.
So yeah, built up to the blood, but the show like really leaned into the blood right from the first episode, I guess. Even having like the blood spatter get thicker and thicker on the logo.
That was a sweet scene, both in the comics and the show.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Which one?
When he kills the Guardians.
The Guardians? Oh, that was good.
They had no chance.
No.
None.
No chance in hell. You got.
I mean, he got the surprise on them too, so they didn't have any time to prepare for Omni-Man, but how can you prepare for that?
You can't.
Just,
Batman.
he's too strong.
Batman countermeasures. Prepare for everything.
But Omni-Man's not like
Displaces
Superman, right?
equilibrium.
Like, what is Omni-Man's weakness?
The same one that Invincible has, like the affects the equilibrium. If you have a microphone chip implanted in their head that can hurt their equilibrium.
But I mean, like, that's not like a Superman where like kryptonite or red kryptonite can just take him out during a fight. Like, you literally have to work goddamn hard.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
To get that thing into his head.
Yeah, you'd have to go take it willingly. And then there are these raptor type monsters that can hurt them.
Yeah.
The
Viltrumites fear them. Yeah.
I want to say the legacy virus is not. It's a scourge virus. The scourge virus can hurt the Viltrumites.
There's not a lot. Like, Earth can't do very much against one single Viltrumite.
No, as in Space Racer's gun.
Oh yeah, Space Racer. I forgot about him.
Yeah. With his monkey feet.
And somehow he's okay with Omni-Man.
No, he shoots. He fights him at first, and he's like,
well, yeah, they fight.
Then they're like, no, hey, he's cool. Because
then
Omni-Man's the one that trapped him.
Then Omni-Man, wins, traps him, and then they fight again. But then he's just kind of like, yeah, I'll fight with you.
Well, he's like, I guess I've had 100 years to think about it. A couple 100 years and 1,000 years. I don't know. He was in there a long time. They say
long time.
Long dang time.
It wasn't until they had the gun that they even knew where to find him.
No, he had the gun.
Didn't they fucking take the gun?
Yeah, no.
And they were just like, oh.
If anybody tried to touch the gun, it would automatically return to his hands.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, he must be dead by now. So
And
they went and they touched the gun, and then it flew into the pile of rocks, and they're like, oh, and then they had them. And then he shot out.
And that was him and Alan. Omni-Man and Alan.
Yeah. Well, because they were tracking down everything from Omni-Man's old novels.
They tried to go fight those raptor things, and they're like, nope,
Yeah,
that's not going to work.
That's a terrible idea. I think they come back into play.
Because those things are crazy.
Yeah.
Because they can just go toe-to-toe with a Viltrumite.
Yeah,
somebody physical
somebody
power.
Strong enough could fight. Like, other Viltrumites can fight other Viltrumites. Like, I mean, there would be ways.
Lot, though.
No,
like, they are powerful.
Yeah,
and that's why they're so feared throughout the whole universe.
Yeah. Oh, they're absolutely powerful. It'd be hard. I've been getting a quest for a Batman countermeasure to Omni-Man, and it's like, but it's Batman. I can just make up some junk. Like, I built a power suit that gives me power, and I kick him in the nuts or something. I'll do better than that.
I mean, I guess Batman did build the suit in what was it? The Black Knight or whatever, where he's able to take a punch from Superman.
Oh, Dark Knight Returns. Yeah, and he taps into the power grid. He's got a corded suit. Yeah.
But he uses the electricity to just really mess with Superman, because Superman does not take electricity well.
Depends on the Superman.
I mean, it's not going to just like actually hurt him. But if you want to incapacitate him for about 2 seconds.
2 seconds is all I need. Yeah. So we're coming up on work here. So after that, we should, Mark discovers Omni-Man's bed. And that's the thing that always got me, was Omni-Man was like, I was put on this planet to take over it and stuff, and I had a son, and I raised you like a human. And like, why would you ever think that you'd just be like, hey, let's, kill your mother and all your friends and take over this planet? Like, why would he, in comics or show, like, why would Omni-Man think Mark was going to go along with that?
About 1,000 years of conflict.
No, I know.
Probably.
But like, over the past 18 years, like, why would you raise the kid as a human and then be like, well, let's take over the planet?
I don't think that he actually thought about it, because it just kind of like slowly ingrained him into the human culture.
Oh, good.
Whereas a Viltrumite, he was just like, whatever.
Yeah, I guess like he didn't stay outside of himself, as proven later by the fact that he turned.
Like in the show, I can't remember if it's in the comic, but Mark's playing baseball as a young kid.
Yeah.
And Omni-Man's just like, this is dumb. What are we doing here? This is what a waste of time.
Yeah.
But then he like starts to like smile after, and he's just like
proud of his son.
Yeah. So the humanity's starting to seep into him.
Humanity is raised different than the Viltrumites.
Viltrumites are all about war and power.
Yeah, I know. It's about
So I
war.
think that's what.
The other thing that's very interesting, you would have got to the Invincible crossover where Angstrom Library brings over all the Invincibles from different universes.
Yeah.
And it's like most of them are evil. And they say at one point, like it's just kind of a throwaway line, but it's very important. It's like, oh, you being a good guy on this reality is rare. Which I like. Like you go to most alternate realities, it's like the ones we know. Like, you know, Spider-Man's almost always a good guy.
Yeah.
Because that's the alternate reality thing. But like, you know, if you travel the multiverse of Invincible, yeah, Mark Grayson is a...
Because he knows that he's a Viltrumite.
Yeah, he's almost always a bad guy. This is like, they're like, this is one of the only realities where you rejected your father.
But you see it throughout the normal one too, the conflict of him knowing that he has all this power and he just wants to kill things. And
they do that more. Well, he shoves a kid into a locker in the comic, but like, yeah, in the show they do a bit more of that. Like when he's to his mom, like, make me go inside. Like, fuck you. And she's like, oh, yeah, that feel. She talks him out of it, which is awesome. She's like,
she knows how to.
Yeah, she's like, that make you feel good. Like, fuck off, grow up, don't be a dick. Anyway, yeah, and they beats the crap out of him and leaves the planet with tears running down his face. Were you emotional?
It's so sad.
That, for me, that was the point where I was like, okay. Like, as soon as his dad killed the Guardians of the Globe, I was like, oh, I got to keep reading it to see what happens. But then as soon as he left beat the crap out of his son and like left the planet, I was like, okay, I'm in this book for the long.
Yeah. That was so good too, because you just see that conflict in Omni-Man, like, oh.
Yeah. Which, though, I feel in the show now, he's less redeemable.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like,
yeah. They do leave out
they
a
killed
bunch
people.
of tad-
Yeah, they killed people accidentally in the comics, but in the show, he like grabbed a guy by the face and crushed it. Or he like put him through the subway.
Yeah, killed a lot of people.
Yeah, like I just don't know how they could redeem him as easily in the show. And the show might be going in a different direction, which I love. And it's still Robert Kirkman working on the adaptation, so it'll be good. Anyway,
they're close enough where it's good.
Oh, they're good. I'm excited for the next couple seasons.
Well, this was Comic Talk. Comic Drive? Comic Drive. Whatever?
Comic Drive. This was Comic Drive with Hauss and Jake. Like, and comment, and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.
Good morning.
More.
Oh, jeez. Next episode.
Right?
Welcome to our podcast.
Hi. Comic Drive with Hauss and Jake. We can lean in.
Mwah, 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 mwah.